KTLK, you're back with the Dino and Nelson show. And before we get to our special guest, Dino, we didn't have a chance to go into the special financing that we wanted to offer to those of you that are out looking at property. This can go for a purchase or a refinance, but we priced out up to a $625,000 loan, 30-year fixed rate, 3.375%. The APR on it is going to be exactly the same because it's a no-fees refinance where there's no cost. And Dino, pay attention here, man.
I am paying attention.
We got our photographer in studio.
I'm trying to figure out why you're giving away our money.
Yeah.
You're about to give something out for free.
Listen to this. For the first 10 that respond and apply for this financing, 30-year fixed rate at 3 3/8, we're going to reward you with a free limousine service. Free limousine service. That's not bad.
You're giving away the farm, buddy.
Giving away the farm. So 3 3/8, 30-year fixed rate, no fees. All it is essentially an interest rate exchange. So it's a fabulous deal.
It is, and it's a free limousine ride for how many hours?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. I think somebody there can choose to take their little honey out for a nice dinner.
Sweet.
Maybe a nice little romantic drive on the 405.
I have to jump in and ask, is mileage, is there like a minimum on mileage? Because I'll do a loan right now for that limo ride.
Perfect. 9 left. 9 left if you're driving around.
I'm going to San Diego and back at least.
You might as well, man. You got it. And you can play the radio as loud as you want.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. So let me tell you about Steve Mortensen. This segment is brought to you by Title 365. Like we've announced, Title 365 is one of the visionaries in the industry that's bringing live status to the real estate transactions where you don't have to chase after people. You can simply log on, iPad, iPhone, your computer, and get exact status on how your transaction is going. So with 9 left, give us a call, 888-814-3335, or text the word refi to 313131. We've got Steve Mortensen from Exotic Properties Realty. And let me tell you a little bit about Steve. He's been in the business for 15 years, came from the mortgage lending background. He's one of us, Dino. I don't know if that's good or bad, but he has that mortgage experience. And get this, he's partnered with his wife, Kelly, in business. And I love this. Kelly's the broker of the business.
I was about to say he's a smart man because he's no longer doing mortgages.
Exactly.
And now I don't know how smart he is because he partnered with his wife.
Well, here you go. She's the broker. And just like
she's the boss, so he is smart.
Just like when I worked with my wife, she was the broker of our company. And she would tell me that I work for her and the state recognizes it. There you have it. So
welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
So we've been told you're gonna give out like the wisest advice and the top 10 secrets to buying a home under market value.
I definitely polished up my crystal ball before we came today.
Exactly. Where does your business typically come from?
Well, predominantly our business is from past clients and referrals. Obviously, that's the best way to keep your business afloat in this kind of a market. But outside of that, we are the proud parents of 6 children, 5 of whom are in school. And obviously, we get to meet a lot of folks that way through sports and activities. That's definitely a great source for us as well.
I don't know how you both work and then keep after 6 kids, 5 of them in school, 1 still at home. How do you do it?
It's certainly a challenge, but we've got a lot of help.
3 of them are loan officers and 3 of them are real estate agents.
There you go. I have a lot of assistants.
First child slavery in the real estate sector. Well, and Dino, you have the same platform. Your business is predominantly referral.
It is, and in my opinion, it's the way to go. There's the lead generation type shops, and you got people that are looking, in the mail, looking on the internet, looking on TV, just whatever they can do to find a deal. And I typically don't like working with those people as much. And the only reason why is because they're looking for the deal so much that they pass up the actual, meat of the deal. And the meat of it right now, especially because of how difficult this market is, you have to be working with somebody that really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, just like we were talking about the loan modification. Same thing in the real estate side or the mortgage side. You have to be surrounded by wise counsel.
It is. But, enough about me. Let's talk about Steve.
Hey, Steve, you're with Exotic Properties Realty. Exotic Properties Realty. I'll get it out.
He kept thinking about that dance club he was
at. Oh, stop it. Exotic Properties. But it's your own business, and you've elected to be a standalone company instead of going with one of the major real estate firms. You've got your niches. Tell us a little bit about where you focus.
Well, contrary to the name of the organization, not all of our business is exotic, but certainly that is one of our core focuses is the higher end listings in the North Orange County area. But outside of that, we've got quite a bit of business in the short sale arena, and we work with relocation clients as well.
In the relocation clients, do they have a specific set of needs different than just anyone that's out looking for property?
Well, I'd say the biggest challenge with the relocation clients is most of the time they're doing most of their shopping on the internet, and then when they get in town, they've got a very limited time to spend actually looking at property, so they have to make a decision quickly. Always makes a challenge when there's not much to choose from.
Yeah, and I think that would probably be the most difficult thing is just the low inventories that everyone's reporting around the Southland. There's not a lot of properties to select from. What do you do with that?
You got to go back to the drawing board. I actually find myself out spending time knocking on doors, looking for people in specific communities where my clients are interested. It's shoe leather marketing.
Shoe leather marketing. Do you have testimony of just approaching people that you don't have any identity? Literally, you're knocking on the door and saying, hey, we've got an interested party. Have you considered?
And don't take that personally since you don't have any identity.
Any identity of their willingness to sell.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you do some form of a cold call, you got to put people at ease, and it certainly is a lot of work to do, and it's definitely the most challenging way to get property listings. But we see some success, and if it may not be the person who I'm knocking on right now, but they might know a neighbor or somebody in the similar neighborhood, so then I get a referral over.
I have a follow-up question for you on the probate sales and short sales. But listeners, if you're just getting into your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show. I'm with show host Dino and Steve Mortensen from Exotic Properties Realty. This segment is brought to you by Title 365, the visionaries of bringing live status to real estate transactions. Title 365. If you want additional information, contact us at 888-814-3335, 888-814-3335, or text the word refi to 313131. On the probate sales, are there a number of those? I mean, it seems to me like most people would have their estates in order and not be going through probate.
Well, I think you'd be surprised. Obviously, not as many as there were in the past, but there still is a number of probate sales out there in the market. And a lot of times what we see is people may have created a trust, but they've never actually deeded the property into the trust. And it ends up going back through probate.
And is that just pulling teeth without Novocaine kind of a process working through the judicial system? Well,
there's a couple of different types of probate sales, and most of the time, unless there's some kind of dysfunction or discord amongst the heirs, you can actually get full authority from the court, which means the executor of that estate can make all decisions in the best interest. We don't even have to go for court approval.
Hey, Steve, what about financing? You know, we're in the mortgage business. We know what's out there on our end, but I'm curious on your end. Have you been encountering any kind of financing issues with your clients?
I think my biggest challenge when it comes to financing is the lack of stated income for the self-employed borrowers. I certainly would have many more clients who are willing to move up, sell their current property, if they could do something along the stated income lines.
So how do you feel about that? I know how I feel about state income, and I'm a huge fan of it. It's always existed. You just had to put more money down, and you got a little bit of a higher interest rate. But if you could put the money down, you should be able to get something. How do you feel about state income being gone now?
I think it's a detriment to everybody in the market because I know a lot of people that can potentially afford more than their taxes show. And, I think that's locking some borrowers into their existing property when generally they would be moving up, which would help us solve our inventory problem by putting more houses on the market.
We should see the market relax on this. I mean, this is something that was stricken from the mortgage sector when we had the meltdown, and something that could come back. And it makes sense for some. I mean, there's, just like you were saying, Steve, people that are tremendously successful and also have equally successful CPAs that are just taking advantage of the IRS code and sheltering their income.
Equally successful CPAs. I like it.
They know how to work the tax code. So talk to me about this. We've got challenges, obviously, that home buyers and homeowners have right now, and one of them is the buyer's misconceptions. Do you wrestle with that?
One of the things I do when I first sit down with a buyer is try and explain to them the state of the current market. Real estate's local. Don't listen to the national news. Things are tight, and you may not get the quote-unquote deal of a lifetime that many buyers are looking for.
And how about on the seller side? There's got to be misconceptions there.
always challenging on the seller side, especially with the decrease in the market over the last 5 or 6 years. It's some sellers still believe their house is worth 2006 values.
I think what you just said is important, because I just heard a stat where half the country is up, half the country is down or flat. And nationally, that doesn't really produce that great of a number. But locally, we're on fire.
Absolutely.
And like we reported from last August, home values increasing, a 12% appreciation rate just in the month of August. If you're in your car and want to stay with us, Dino and I are with Steve Mortensen from Exotic Properties Realty. This is presented by Title 365. Their vision and communication brings real estate finance or purchase transactions status live to your computer, Dino.
Live to your computer.
Live to your iPad, live to your iPhone. And check out that no-cost refi that we mentioned at the top of the segment, a special refinance, 3 3/8, 30-year fixed rate up to $625,000 with no fees. Contact us direct, 888-814-3335, or text the word refi to 313131. We'll be right back.
K-Talk AM 1150.
KTLK AM 1150.com. Sign up now to be a K-Talk AM 1150 Progressive Talker. Log on to KTLK AM 1150.com and take advantage of exclusive discounts and special offers only available to our club members. As a Progressive Talker, you'll also have access to Progressive Talk on demand. Joining is absolutely free. Log on to KTLK AM 1150.com and become a Progressive Talker today.
KTLK, you're with the Dino and Nelson Show with my co-host Dino. I'm Nelson. We're going to go a little bit deeper into finding out what's around the corner with the real estate market. We've got Steve Mortensen from Exotic Properties Realty. And, of course, we've got the guru, the real estate guru, Phil Immel. Good to be with you, Phil. How are you?
Good to be with you, gentlemen.
So we want to take a little look
Gentleman.
at...
Are you really calling him a gentleman?
Come on now.
Both of you, actually.
I know I am.
Yeah.
But
I think I got a fever, though.
that makes more sense.
This segment brought to you by Escrow Technology. They're our escrow partners. They as well have been one of the forefront thinkers on how to use technology in their platform and bring information current, live status. They take the chase out of real estate transactions, which is a huge issue.
I got to tell you, I love it. The real estate industry is finally there. We actually have technology now.
Exactly. For more information, call Dino or I at 888-814-3335. Or for more, I just can't talk today. For market-leading mortgage rates, text the word refi to 313131. Dino, you're so happy today.
What are you talking about? Just because you keep screwing up and the producer has to fix everything?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we're heading into the meat of fourth quarter. What are we going to see? We got the election. We've got just a lot of uncertainty out there. What's around the corner?
I'm seeing a very hot market right now. Inventory very scarce. We've talked about that before. And seasonality, a lot of people are not going to put their houses on the market as the holidays are upon us. So until about Super Bowl Sunday, it's going to be, I think, scarce inventory, high demand, obviously mortgage rates, historic lows as well, and a lot of competition, multiple offers on the lower priced things, and even the luxury market's moving quickly.
Yeah, and Phil, you've got your ear to the rail, and so I'm not I'm a little conflicted by what you say in the context of seasonality. I know you reference it a lot, and Steve, I don't buy into it sometimes. I mean, I think when you have the mix of ingredients, low rates, unbelievable properties, there's this pent-up thirst for people that want to jump in. Is there seasonality this year?
I'm in complete concurrence with Phil. It's
thanks.
I think
So there.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad I
paid him
set you up for
$5.
that.
I want to know what the over-under is, though. He was very specific with Super Bowl Sunday. What's yours, over or under?
I think Q4 and Q1 2013 will be very
Straight
tight.
through.
Yep. But my hopes are that as we get more into the middle of 2013, the sellers will take advantage of the low rates, put their houses up. That'll give us more inventory, and we'll start to see things come back to normal.
And Rob, I want to clarify one thing on that. What I mean by seasonality is, particularly this year, it's a little different than previous years. You're correct about that, but the pent-up demand to buy is very strong and getting stronger, but the inventory is so low, and there's likely less inventory coming on because the REO market subsided, plus equity sales. Those people are not going to put the houses on the market traditionally. There'll be exceptions. It'd actually be a smart time to list your house over the holidays. It would look pretty.
And we talked before you joined us, Phil, we talked about certain things that are handcuffing people. One of them is being the lack of stated income financing, where there's plenty of people that have paid their mortgages on time for years. Their tax statements simply don't demonstrate enough qualifying income, but they can afford properties, and they're on the sidelines.
Right. All the entrepreneurs, self-employed, are really in a difficult situation compared to the W-2 employee. And, you have to have tax returns to prove this, and they're going to check. So it does cut out a big demand, and the people have the cash flow to pay it. You're right about that, but it just, I know you guys can rubber stamp the loans for them, so that'll be no problem.
Exactly. Dino can. Money coming straight out of Greece, right, Dino?
Those days are over.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Darn
about?
it.
Dino, do you think they're coming back?
They're going to have to. Yeah, I do. I'll answer your question right there with an I do.
All right. That's the first definitive answer that I've ever heard out of you.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah. So 2013.
I do.
2013.
What kind of show is this?
Yeah, I know. No worries,
It's been
Phil.
that show all day. That's
No
why.
worries, Phil. It's just physical between Dino and I. Here we go.
It's
Skip
just
lunch,
that he's been
thanks.
screwing up all day. I love it. You kidding me? This is great.
So later in 2013, let's get beyond Q1, and we're looking at moving into the summer season again. Foreclosure filings are down. There is still a perceived inventory that's not been released yet by the bank. Are we going to see an explosive market as we go further into 2013?
I think we'll see some more standard equity sales. I don't think we're going to see a ton of inventory flood the market. I just don't believe that there's the shadow inventory that everybody's concerned about. The numbers I've been seeing don't really show that it's as big of a concern as maybe people are making it to be.
Well, you know what scares me as far as if the inventory is going to come back or not is the fact that the rates are so low. People have refinanced and have something in the threes. I mean, why sell? Right? Why sell? Why go over and get a higher tax payment? Especially down the road as interest rates start going up. If somebody's locked in and at 3% why sell and start over at 5 or 6 or 7?
I think part of it, when you take the whole pie of the pool of buyers, you've got first-time buyers, obviously, who've been renting, so that's a good sector that will be very, very strong. You've got older couples, empty nesters, downsizing. They don't need the big family home anymore. So you've got activity level going on, and the trade-up market should pick up a little bit more next year. But you're right. If you're going to be in your home for another 10 years and you're at 3.5% interest and you don't have more children coming or are going to outgrow it, there's no point for those people to move.
I guess divorce changes that a lot too, though, here in California.
Well,
Sure
I
does.
did want to mention that, but
It's a fact.
we're
It
naive
happens.
on that topic.
Nobody's
Yeah.
making eye contact all of a sudden. If you just jumped in your car, you're with the Dino and Nelson show here on KTLK. I'm with Steve Mortensen from Exotic Properties Realty and Phil Immel, the real estate guru from Prudential, California.
You're right. It's one of
Realty.
those days.
Man, I don't know how many tongues I got flying in my mouth today. It's unbelievable. This segment brought to you by Escrow Technology, taking the chase out of escrow transactions where you can gain live status at the click on your computer. For more information, call Dino and Nelson at 888-814-3335 or for market-leading mortgage rates.
Wow. Text the word refi to
Thank you.
31
Good
31
heavens,
31.
somebody
That's text the
save
word
me.
refi to 31 31 31. And once again, don't forget about our special for the next 10 people to refinance with us. Get a free limousine ride for 3.5 hours. And if you just want to get a free limo ride without giving us a refinance, you know what? It's not going to happen.
No, there you go. It's
How about
conditional.
that? Yeah, but you can also text the word limo to 31 31 31, and you can get a discount from our partners at Best Chauffeured.
So I want to ask the two of you, there's this perception again out there that there is a lot of uncertainty. And yet we're seeing in the luxury markets, like what we heard Marco Ruffo report out of the Palisades area, that the luxury markets are exploding. He reported an 80% increase year over year on properties selling $2.5 million and above. And surprisingly, the majority of those buyers being domestic U.S. residents, as opposed to the Asian community coming in or the Middle Eastern community or the international community and just writing checks and paying cash. And I was surprised by that.
I can tell you in Orange County because I deal a lot in that luxury market, and we track it at our company, Prudential Real Estate, and where all the source of the buyers are coming from. Only 3% of the buyers buying luxury property in California are from China. Everybody has a perception that they have all the money.
Yeah.
The reality is Texas has been really good to Orange County lately. All the oil and gas money predominantly. A few tech people out of Dallas and mostly Houston buying very expensive 20 million plus homes.
Second homes or primary residence?
Second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever they wish.
Do you find second home purchases in your marketplace?
We sure do. I mean, it's maybe not as prominent as South County or the beach areas, but there's certainly people that are buying second homes up in North County.
Now, that's great information. Phil Immel with Prudential California Realty, Steve Mortensen with Exotic Properties Realty. Thanks for being with us. Great insight.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.